Hello everyone. Today I'll be presenting on the topic the Sexual Harassment of Women at Workplace Prevention, Prohibition and Redressal Act 2013. Let's get into it. So who can file a complaint? Any aggrieved woman, whether employed or not at a workplace or anyone employed for household work who alleges sexual harassment can file a complaint under this act. Moving on, what amounts to sexual harassment? It includes promise of preferential treatment in employment, implied or explicit, threat of detrimental treatment in employment, threat to employment status, interference with work or creation of hostile or offensive working environment, humiliating treatment affecting health or safety, and sexually colored remarks. All of this amounts to sexual harassment. Moving on to there are two committees which deal with complaints with regarding sexual harassment. One is the Internal Complaints Committee, the second one is Local Complaints Committee. So what are the requirements for Internal Complaints Committee? So it is mandatory for every workplace which has 10 or more employees, must be formed by the written order of the employer, and if the workplace has multiple branches or units, each such branch or unit should have Internal Complaints Committee. Moving on to the members of Internal Complaints Committee. So it includes a presiding officer who is a senior women employee. If they are not available in a particular department or branch, they can be hired from the other department or branch. And at least 2 employee members, preferably with experience of women's issues, social work or legal matters, and 1 external member who can be from NGO or familiar with issues of sexual harassment. All of these can hold office up to 3 years and 50% of them must be women. Moving on, removal of Internal Complaints Committee members. So if they break confidentiality rules or are facing or convicted of criminal charges or are involved in disciplinary issues or misuse their position, they can be removed from the committee. Moving on to Local Complaints Committee. So when can it be formed? If a workplace has less than 10 employees or the complaint is against the employer himself, then it can be formed, and it is formed by the district officer. Regarding the jurisdiction and support, only 1 LCC per district and nodal officer appointed in blocks or wards to collect complaints and send to LCC within 7 days. Moving on to composition of LCC. So there will be 1 chairperson who is an eminent woman in social work committed to women's cause, a member working women in block, taluka, ward or municipality, an ex officio member who is a district officer in charge of women and child welfare, 2 NGO members, at least 1 woman, preferably with legal knowledge, and 1 such must be from SC/ST or minority community. All such members can hold office for up to 3 years and at least 50% of them must be women. Moving on to filing a complaint. Any aggrieved woman can file a complaint to Internal Committee or Local Committee. In case of time limit, it's 3 months from such incident, and in case of series of incident, 3 months from last such incident. And if there is an extension available for 3 additional months, if it's proven that the reasons are valid and the reasons are recorded in writing by the Internal Committee or Local Committee. In case of incapacity of women to file a complaint, a legal hire can file a complaint on behalf of her. Moving on to conciliation. So at the request of women, the Internal Committee or Local Committee may try conciliation before the inquiry begins, and it cannot be done on monetary terms. So if both the parties agree, the settlement is recorded and sent to the employer or district officer. No further inquiry is conducted. Copies are given to both the parties. If settlement terms are not followed, inquiry resumes or complaint is forwarded to police. Moving on to inquiry into complaint. So if no conciliation or terms are followed, IC or LC must inquire as per the rules of the respondent, and if no rules, as per the prescribed manner. For domestic workers, LC must forward to police within 7 days. Both the parties are given opportunity to be heard, and copy of the finding is shared to both the parties and for their feedback. Court may order the respondent to pay the compensation upon conviction, and the internal committee or local committee has powers like a civil court. It can call or question the witness, demand for documents, and inquiry must be completed within 90 days. So during the enquiry, at the woman's request, IC or LC can recommend transfer of respondent or the complainant. Up to 3 months of paid leave is given to the aggrieved woman, and other prescribed relief is also provided. The employer must implement and report back the same. Moving on to inquiry report. Report should be shared to the employer and both the parties within 10 days. If complaint is not proven, no action is taken. But if the complaint is proven, IC or LC recommends disciplinary action under the service rules, and compensation is deducted from the respondent's salary. If unpaid, the district officer can recover as land revenue. Employer must take action within 60 days. Moving on to false or malicious complaint. So action will be taken against complaints which are proven to be false or forged. Mere inability to prove does not amount to malicious intent. So a separate inquiry will be conducted to prove the malicious intent. Moving on to confidentiality and penalty for breach of confidentiality. So complaint identities, inquiry details must be kept confidential. Justice outcome may be shared without revealing the identities. And in case of penalty, as per the prescribed rules, or if there are no rules, as per the prescribed amount. Moving on to appeal. So appeal is allowed against findings or recommendations by IC or LC, breach of confidentiality, or for punishment for false complaints, non-implementation of IC or LC directions, and the appeal must be filed within 90 days. Appeal to court or tribunal as per service or prescribed law. Moving on to duties of employer. So the employer must ensure safe working environment, including safety from third parties. Displaying POSH policy, penalties, and details of internal complaints committee prominently. Conduct awareness workshops for employees or orientation programs for IC members. Provide facility and support to IC or LC complaints handling and inquiries. Help in summoning witness or respondent during inquiry. Share relevant information with IC or LC as needed. Assist women in filing complaint if she wishes. Take legal actions if harasser is an outsider if women wants. Treat sexual harassment as misconduct under service rules and take actions. Ensure timely report and submission by internal committee. Thank you.